Welcome back everyone. In this section, we will be dealing with functions. Now first of all, you must understand what are functions. So what are functions? Functions are named part of a program that can be used from anywhere inside the program. Alright, that is the definition. The definition makes it sound very complicated. So I'll explain functions with a very simple example. If you go to a supermarket, you can find that all the vegetables are kept together, all the electronics are kept together, all the kitchen utensils are kept together, all the toys are kept together so that the customer can easily find their product. The same principle is used in functions. Now, functions is a way of breaking down our program into smaller components so that the program can be easily modified by the programmer and also at the same time easily understood by the user. So functions are ways of breaking down our program into small individual units. Now let me show you an example. With this example it will be clear to you. Now a function has two parts. First is function definition, which deals with what the function has to do, and the function call. Function call deals with what values the task has to be done. Alright, so the above code is an example of a function. Now to write a function, first we start off by typing in def followed by the function name, and inside the bracket we will type in the variables that are used inside the function. Now this function is to add two numbers. So we'll be using two variables, a and b. So we'll list down those variables inside this bracket. So to write a function, we use the def keyword followed by the function name. In this case it is add, open a bracket, and inside the bracket we'll type in the variables that are used inside the function. Alright, so this sounds cool. But how can we use this function? There's a problem with this. We don't know the values of a and b. So we must provide the function with values of a and b. Now, first of all, this process is called function call. That means we are going to provide some values to the function so that it can perform the operations inside the function. So I'll show you an example of a function call. So this line is an example of a function call. What it does is that it is going to send the values 5 and 6 to our function definition. That means a will be 5 and b will be 6. So let's run this program and you'll get the output 11 in it. So program is working perfectly. So what happens here is that this function call will send the value of 5 and the value of 5 will go to a and the value of 6 will go to b. And inside the function, what we're actually doing is the sum of a and b. So it will add 5 and 6 and print that value. So we got the output 11 in our screen. Suppose you're working for a computer firm and they asked you to write this simple function. So you can easily write it, right? Now after a month, they're telling you that you need to add a third variable. So suppose you want to modify this program to 3 variables. You can do it in split of a second. All you have to do is just add one more variable to this function, a plus b plus the third variable. And in the function call, you must provide one more number. So within split of a second, you can expand this program. That means functions make it very easy to modify the program. Now I'm explaining with a very small program here. If we move on further into this course and deal with larger programs, you'll have a clear idea why functions are very necessary. So we'll run and verify it again. And 18. 5 plus 6 plus 7, 18. So program is working fine. So I'll repeat how a function works. To write a function, use the def keyword followed by the function name. Open a bracket and list in the variables that are going to be used in this function. Then use a full colon. After providing a tab space, write in the function body. In this case, we'll be printing the sum of these three variables. So print a plus b plus c. Now that is all about function definition. Now to function call means providing some value into that function. And that is what we have done here. We'll be providing the value of 5, 6 and 7 to this function. So what this will be doing is that the value of 5 will go to A, value of 6 will go to B, value of 7 will go to C, and it will print the value of 5 plus 6 plus 7. So that is how this program works. Now we'll do more examples using functions. So we'll have now in our last lecture we were dealing with functions. So we're going to keep on writing more programs using functions so that you have a clear idea about functions. So let's write another program using functions. First of all, you must use the def followed by the function name. Let's type some random stuff. That will be food. So function name is going to be food and a full colon. Our function name is going to be food because why not? An empty parenthesis, that means we will not be using any variables in this function. And inside the function, let's print something out. Chicken burgers for everyone. Yay! Awesome. Alright. So this is how our function definition is going to be. We use the def keyword followed by the function name, our parenthesis, and it is empty, our brackets, and it will be empty because we are not using any variables inside this, a full colon, our tab space, and our function body. Alright, now let's try running this. You'll see that there are no outputs. Why? Because we haven't actually called this function. Now calling a function is Python's way of saying like, you want to turn on a light, you must switch on the light, right? The same way, you can make a function, but in order to use that function, we must call that function. So to call the function, just like we did in our last lecture, we just have to type in our function name followed by the opening and closing of brackets. We'll open and close our brackets. Inside there will not be any variables this time because we are not using any variables in the function definition. Alright, now let's run this. Yay, chicken burgers for everyone. So program is working perfectly. Another great use of functions is that you can call it as many times as you want. So you can just copy paste this code. So you can just call it again and again, and the program will still work. See, you got it 4 times this time. So if you're writing a 100-line program and after writing the 100th line you want to call this function again, you can do that without writing the code again. Functions can be reused and easily modified. That is the main use of functions. Alright, that is all for this example. Now in our next lecture we'll be dealing with more complex examples. So I want you to try writing your own functions at home. Alright, so that is all about this lecture. I'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you and have a great day.